Hey, what's up, Boda? How you doing? I guess the light's not too bad. My day's going all right. You can hear me all right, right? I, you hear me? Okay. Uh, it's going all right. I just finished filming a tier list video that I'm gonna upload as soon as the stream's over. Hey, what's up, Zach? How you doing? Hope your day's going well. Just trying to come up with video ideas. I did a reaction yesterday, and then I did a tier list video today that I'm gonna upload after the stream, and then hopefully I'll try to come up with something else to film afterwards because I'm gonna be going out with some friends. Yeah, Zach, I'm good. Oh, are you good? Hey, what's up, Noah? Sorry if I get names off, so I just make it easier. I simply just say what it says. So if I keep calling you Rocket, then just don't take offense to it. But heck, it's nice to see you. Have you heard? Crystal clear, and my day's going quite well. Okay, well that's great to hear. I'm just trying to stay as productive as possible. Um, I don't really have. Yeah, I don't really, I'll be honest. I'm just trying to keep myself as busy as possible. I'm going to be going on my trip to visit my brother for our birthdays together in about what day is it? The 23rd. So I leave in like 7 days. So yeah, I think I'll be on my trip on the 30th all the way to September 6th. So yeah. Uh yeah, I it's still yeah, I read it. I still don't like it. I mean, honestly, I believe if they go with that type of thinking, I think they think we're stupid. I mean, so your explanation of, oh, well, we don't want to use a different model of Jill because it'll just confuse people is like, well, we haven't seen that version of Jill since 2009. Let's just use the most relevant version. But to me, that just makes it seem like they think I'm stupid. It's like I'm not stupid. They could have easily just changed, given her a different look. That's all I'm saying. They didn't have to. They didn't have to cop. They literally copied and pasted. It's like give her like if you want to get the same hairstyle, fine, but like give her different clothes. Like that's the problem. It's not just her face and her hair. They literally copied and pasted her clothes from 1998. That is my issue. If they wanted to give her like a new uniform or a new ghetto, that would have been fine. But no, they literally just took her look from RE3 remake and put it in the movie. That's what bothers me. And to me, if they say, "Oh, we don't think people are smart enough to know the difference," then that's just them saying we're stupid, and that pisses me off even more. So yeah, if you wanted to, would you choose to be injected with Genova cells, and what kind of hero would I be? Hmm. I wouldn't want to be a hero. I would just have the powers and just do whatever the heck I wanted. Who's it? I mean, just because you have the Genova cells doesn't mean you have to be a hero. Hey, what's up, Phantom Says? How you doing? Hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are playing things. I've just been playing just a lot of Diablo 2 and a lot of Master Duel. Just kind of getting myself caught up, getting ready for Mortal Kombat when it comes up next month. I did happen to play the Mortal Kombat beta. I just didn't get to play it as much as I wanted to simply because of work. But I did get some footage, and I would have loved to have streamed it. And I didn't even really get a chance to play online because I was just trying to get used to the characters. So what have you guys been playing? Thanks, Cal. Yeah, you'll be seeing this shirt later on in a video I filmed today, and I'm uploading it after the stream. Like it's already done. Like I did. This guys give you a heads up. I did a tier list ranking of all the Mortal Kombat films, which included the animated films and the live action films, and I even included Mortal Kombat Legacy, and it went on for about like 16 minutes. So that video is already done. Thumbnail's done. As soon as the stream's over, I will be uploading that immediately. So, yep, you'll be seeing this shirt again. Plus, it's like the only Mortal Kombat shirt I have, so it's like I kind of needed it. Have I seen the 10 minutes of gameplay of Modern Warfare 3? Yeah, I saw it. It reminded me a lot of that one mission in OG Modern Warfare 2 when you infiltrate that prison and you have to rescue Captain Price. That's what that mission reminds me of. Just aesthetically. It looked a lot like it. But yeah, I've seen it. Look, it looks okay. I'll definitely give it a play. I mean, I played Modern Warfare 1, played the remake of Modern Warfare 1, played the remake of Modern Warfare 2. So, of course, I'll play this one and review it when it comes out. But it's like, it's Call of Duty. You know what you're getting. Have I played Black Ops Cold War? I I do think I played it, but I did not finish Cold War. I think I played it for a bit. I just didn't like how the story structure was going. I just wasn't a fan of it. So yeah, I did play Cold War, but I'm 100% sure I didn't finish it. I think I stopped like maybe 3 or 4 missions, and once I kind of understood like how the game actually was going to work, I was just like, this isn't really. I'm not really feeling this. So I moved on. Hey Sean, I am doing okay. How about you? I'm just trying to stay as productive as possible and get as many video ideas as I can because I'm just trying to keep myself busy. Do I think Gamescom was worth it? It shows how lacking Xbox is with lame releases. I saw that. It's funny because everyone was so concerned that Microsoft was buying up all these studios. And it's like, okay, now they have like as many, if not more, like exclusive studios than Sony does, because Sony actually has their own studio and it has like all these different things, and yet they haven't really they haven't made it count. Like their exclusive lineup is still very lacking. So it's just like, wow, they have all these projects and they don't know what to do with them. I was like, yeah, that's why I was like, I'm not too concerned. The one thing Death Island did was have every RE character get infected. Now we can stop making the meme of Chris never gets infected. Yeah, but it didn't really matter. It didn't really matter. I mean, yeah, but it was just like, who cares? Like, you knew nothing bad was gonna happen to them. They were never gonna. No, they were never in any danger. I didn't buy it. It was not suspenseful at all. It's just like. It felt like a fan film. It felt like a movie. It felt like a film that a fan would write to try to have this like Avengers style story, but like a threat that was like D tier. So at that point, it was just like, whatever. Right, what are my thoughts on the Tales of series, like Tales of some? I gotta be honest, Cap. I'm not too familiar with that series. It's like an RPG. That name doesn't even sound familiar to me. What is my favorite MK fatality in terms of most gory, violent, and aesthetically? Ooh, that's a good one. I think the 2 fatalities that come to mind is Noob Saibot's in Mortal Kombat 9. Where he divides himself on 2 sides of the opponents. They grab them. He grabs the enemy, he grabs the opponent by the leg and arm, and they start pulling. And they just tear the person apart. And the reason I think this is like the best one is it goes on for so long and it's so painful. And the person just getting ripped apart. And then they both hold like both sides of the person upside down. And there's fatality. And then the other one that really sticks to me is Ermac's fatality in Mortal Kombat 10, where he lifts the person up, he crunches their insides, and then he actually pulls their insides out of their mouth and out of their nose, and then he like crushes their intestines, and then he just leaves them hanging, and you can actually see their small intestines and their big intestines just kind of dangling outside their body as he's holding them up. And you can see it in the background. It was just disgusting. But yeah, those are the 2 fatalities I like the most, that I find most memorable. Can I do a top 10 favorite movies video? Okay. Yeah, let me type that up. All right. I feel like I've done that before, but maybe I haven't. I'll have to look. But so let me just like I got your top 10 Christmas films idea still down. So you're providing me with a lot of ideas. So thanks, Sean. So yeah, I'm keeping that in check. Also, what if I did a top 10 favorite Futuramas episodes? I'm not sure I could do that because a lot of the storylines that I really like are spread across multiple episodes. So it's never not just one episode, it's usually a story arc that spreads out over like 2 or 3 episodes. And that's why I'm not sure that would work. Because it's not. There are some episodes that are like individually focused that are really great, but I think the ones I really enjoy are the ones that expand over like 2 or 3 episodes. So it would be impossible to pick just one episode out of that story arc. I would have to include them, and so it would definitely get like well above 10. So I think that would be a challenge. Do a top 10 favorite PS2 games video. Okay, that's a good one. I do believe that PlayStation 2. I do believe PlayStation 2 probably has the strongest library of any PlayStation generation. I do believe that it has. Its library is almost unmatched, even by today's standards. I look at like what PlayStation 3 did and what PlayStation 4 did, and I'd be like, yeah, I still think PlayStation 2 had the best games in terms of consistent quality. Like, man, there's so. When you take into effect that my number one game, my number two game, came from that generation, it just kind of helps. Have I read Harry Potter in the? Oh dear God, Rocket, why did you gotta bring that up? Here's a crazy story about that. One, that is not a Harry Potter book. That is the worst piece of Harry Potter fan film that I've ever seen. Hell, I've seen porn parodies better than what The Cursed Child is. And here's something that's even worse. That book released the day my father died. That's how I remember that book. That is crazy. That book came out the day my father died. And so I tie the worst thing that has ever happened in Harry Potter with the death of my father. That book came out July 31st, 2016. And that's the day my dad died. That sucks. What Resident Evil game has your favorite DLC or extra content? Ooh, that's a good one. Easily Resident Evil 5. No question. I absolutely love the Desperate Escape DLC. I absolutely love the I think it's like for like something nightmare storyline. Yeah, definitely Resident Evil 5. Definitely has my favorite DLC of any Resident Evil game by far. No question. Uh, let's see. All right, Zach. Why was it D tier? The bio drones were virtually undetectable. The villain was another throne-seeking villain, like Wester was back in RE5 and Sattler back in RE4. It DJ, I just didn't really care much for it. It was just it again, it just felt like a fan. It just wasn't exciting. I mean, if you're talking, I mean, if Dead Island was supposed to be one of those turn your brain off films, it's just like, well, we already have 4 of those, and like after a while, I'm just sick and tired of turning my brain off for things, especially when I know you can tell a quality story Resident Evil movie, CGI movie, because it had been done before many years back. And so you take all of these advancements and developments in the story and you tell a story that I don't really care much about and feels like it was written from like a fan instead of something that actually would tie in pretty well with the games. And it just wasn't very fun for me. It was like I've seen it once and I was like, I don't really care much for it. I mean, eh. And the villain's plan was dumb. I mean, you can't argue that. The villain's plan was dumb. And it's just like, again, the more characters they added, the less I cared about it. It's like the biggest complaint people have with six is that there's too many characters. It's like the more characters you add in, the less suspenseful it feels. And like that was taken to an extreme. It's like, okay, if we're gonna add these five characters, why don't we just throw in Ada in there? Why don't we just throw in who else wasn't there? Let's throw in Barry in there. Let's throw in Sherry in there. Let's throw in Jake in there. I mean, why don't we just put 10? I mean, could you imagine a CGI film that had 10 Resident Evil characters? 10 of them. It's like, this is ridiculous. Like, we got too many characters. That's what it felt like. It's like there's too many. Like, focus on a small. The less is the better, which is why Damnation is my favorite. Like, it really only focuses on one character, and that's Leon. Don't need Claire. You don't need Chris. Ada's hardly even in there. It focuses solely on Leon, and it actually ties in with the games, and that's the only one that does that, and that is why Damnation is my favorite. It's like none of the other CGI films do that. Not even close. How would I rank the Toy Story movies? No, I couldn't rank them. There's only three Toy Story films. I can't really rank the three of them from worst to best because they all work so well together as a trilogy. That is why when it comes to like my favorite Disney film, it is the Toy Story trilogy because each of them works so well together as a whole. I can't just watch one of those films. Like at this point, whenever I watch one, I immediately watch the second one and the third one in order. So I spend like 7-8 hours just watching them back to back to back. And it's only those three films. I don't see them as individual films. They're all perfect films, and it's my favorite. And it's like it has like my favorite like ending to a trilogy ever. So yeah, I couldn't separate them. I really couldn't, because each one of them has a key story and a lesson to be learned, and I think that's important. And it's the only trilogy I've grown up with all three phases of my life, from a kid to a teenager to an adult. No other trilogy, no other film series has ever done that. Only Toy Story. What Futurama movie is my favorite? They never made a Futurama movie. What are you talking about? I'm not familiar with Futurama film. Bender's Big Score. Wait, are you talking about a movie or an arc? Because I'm not familiar with a Futurama movie. I'm not. Sorry about my father. It's okay. It's just that's just how I remember that book. Am I a fan of the cartoon Avatar: The Last Airbender? And if so, what would you want to see in the upcoming? No, I can't say I'm a fan of Avatar. I maybe have seen a couple episodes and maybe a couple analysis videos about it, and I saw the live action version of it, which was weird. It was just weird. I was just like, oh, so this is what the show is about? Like, this doesn't seem very interesting, so yeah. Like, yeah. What Far Cry game have I played? Maybe the third one, but I didn't play it for very long. I think I played it for like an hour and then I stopped. So yeah, I wouldn't say I'm a Far Cry. I wouldn't say I'm a Far Cry fan. Lost Nightmares, yes, that's what the RE5 DLC was. Lost Nightmares. I knew it was something Nightmares. Which Horizon game has the best DLC? Frozen Winds or Burning Shores? I'm gonna go with Frozen Winds. Frozen Wilds. Yeah, I definitely like that one more than Burning Shores. I think Burning Shores was okay. They just added a few elements I thought were out of place. I still thought it was good, but yeah, I definitely am more a fan of Frozen Wilds easily. Brian, who is my favorite rock band of all time? Are you kidding? Greatest album ever made. That should answer your question for anyone who knows me. Yeah, RE5 had a great DLC. Lost Nightmares was my favorite. Have I ever heard of Titan Maximum? No, I have not. What is that? Well, I think it was fan service getting to see all the old gang together fighting alongside beside and getting to see what the gang were doing before 7 and 8. I mean, Zach, if you're gonna go that far, then they should have added everybody. They should have added everybody. I mean, at that point, I mean, why not bring in Billy or whatever his name was from Resident Evil Zero? Like, bring him in. Bring in Shepard. You know, bring in Josh. I mean, if you're gonna go go all out, and bring like 20 different characters and put them all in one film. I mean, do that. Do an Avengers End style story. Go all out. Don't just use 5. Go bring everyone in. If you're gonna do that. Can you see Vader and the Emperor play a big part in the next Jedi Fallen Order game? I don't think so. Vader being put in Jedi Survivor felt a little forced, but Vader wasn't really in there that long, so I'll give it a pass. But no, I don't see them playing a big role. I think Cal Kestis has enough on his plate. Hey, what's up, Avengers? How you doing? Have you ever played Fortnite? Absolutely not, Rocket. I have never even had any interest in playing Fortnite. I have Apex Legends for that. Do a top 10 worst movie. Oh, I've already done that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Worst movies? Yeah. I know I've done that one. Did it many years ago. That list has not changed. Black Wolf. Someone on DeviantArt is pitting Deadpool against the Griffin family. Do you think Wade could beat them? Probably. I guess. That's a weird mix-up. I don't see why not. Have I tried Remnant from the Ashes? I have never heard of that game, Black Wolf. Never heard of it. When should Star Wars Jedi 3 come out? I'd give it another, 5 years. Either at the end of this generation or at the start of the next generation. There's no need to rush it. One of the stuff in the behind-the-scenes Resident Evil Dead Island said that they hope Jill returns in Death Island will Capcom bring her back in the games. Heck, if they bring her back in the games, then I hope they give her a different look. That's all I'm asking for. Give her a different look. I do not want to see remake Jill. Give her a different look. I don't care. That is the bare minimum that they can do. Give her a different look. I don't care what they do with her at this point. Just make her look different than she was in 1998. They did that with Chris, which was funny because Chris, they kept making Chris smaller. It was like Chris was massive in Resident Evil 5, and story-wise, it made sense. And then you go to 6, and he looks smaller. You go to 8, he looks smaller. It's like, okay, he's lost some muscle tone, but it makes sense. And if they do Resident Evil 9, doesn't the Rose doesn't that DLC take place 16 years after 8's ending? So that would make Chris in his almost 70s, and I'll be like, I'm pretty sure he's retired at that point. It's odd. Who are my top 5 favorite Sony protagonists? I don't know. I wouldn't be able to name them off the top of my head. I'd have to really think about that. I can't. Yeah, I can't do that just off the top of my head. I'd have to really sit down and think. Titan Maximum is a stop motion series by Todd McFarlane that parodied mecha based shows like Power Rangers and Voltron. I've never heard of that, Black Wolf. I'm really not familiar. Do a review of Snake Eater. I'm waiting for a special occasion to do that. I think I'll wait until it gets re-released before I review that. I'll be honest. I haven't played that a lot for a long time. I played it a little bit at MGS Con, but it has been a while since I've actually played that from beginning to end. It's alright. I think Persona 5 gets better and more you know about Japanese politics. I'm not sure where that came from, but okay. I mean, I love Persona 5. I don't have any problems with Persona 5. Heck, Persona 5 Royal is a top 10. It's a 10 out of 10 game, and it's my favorite game on PlayStation 4. Without question. So I don't have any problems with Persona 5. I understood it just fine. I think ranking a ranking video of your favorite Sony's protagonist is a solid video idea. Perhaps, but that's a like what do you mean protagonist? Because like that's a lot of characters. That might be different. Thoughts on The Simpsons? I used to watch it, but I don't really watch it anymore. Like I'll go back and watch like older, much like older style Simpsons episodes, but like I haven't really watched any of the newer episodes. I stopped. Like I would say The Simpsons was definitely at its best in the '90s, like before like Family Guy came out. Like I think Family Guy didn't come out to like maybe the early 2000s, maybe late '90s, but like yeah, for definitely the '90s, that was like the cartoon thing to watch. Like outside of South Park, like even South Park was probably it was working its way up in the '90s. Which goblin do I like more, Green or Hob? Well, obviously Green. I mean, Hobgoblin is just kind of a semi rip off of Green Goblin, but yeah, I'll definitely go with Green. Like PlayStation exclusive main characters like Kratos and Nathan Drake. Oh, something like that. I'll see if I can pull it off. That's a lot. That's still a lot of characters to go through. Because you'd even have to go back to like retired like PlayStation franchises because the thing I've always liked about PlayStation is that they're more than willing to retire old franchises and create new ones. So, yeah. Would you ever try the donut from The Simpsons in real life? I, I, we, I think I did. I just want to double check something. Pretty sure yeah. I, man, I can't show this. I don't know. Well, hang on. Let's see if I can just take a quick picture of this. Yeah, well, I have technically. Like, let me see if I can show you. Let me just take a quick picture of that. Yeah, I went to. Yeah, I went to. Yeah, I went to Universal Studios back in 2022. Might be a little hard to see. I don't know how this is going to turn out. And my friend bought. It's hard to. Yeah, and my friend bought one of those donuts. And I had some of them. It was massive. But yeah, dude, Universal Studios Hollywood has like a whole Simpsons thing. And we tried a lot of Simpsons food there. Like we had like Krusty Burgers and like we had a whole bunch of. And we went to the Cookie Mart and we got some stuff there. So technically, I have tried the Simpsons donut and it was okay. We couldn't finish it because of how big it was. It took us like I had like about 20% of that, and then it took John. I'm not sure I know he ate most of it, but I'm not sure if he finished it. Do I watch historical documentaries? Absolutely. I'm a massive history buff. There's so many documentaries on the history, like old school style like History Channel. I watch so many documentaries. I have like so many of them saved on like my personal like favorite like playlists on YouTube. I have like so many documentaries. I am a massive history buff. Like there are history like there's history documentaries that like I watch that like most of you have never heard of or would even be interested in. But like I watch them all the time. On rewatch all the time, and I never get bored. Do you think any of the Life Foundation simulates from the comics would make for a good hero? I'm Black Wolf. I'm not familiar with what that is. I'm not familiar with that. Like symbiotes? Like you mean like from Marvel? Like I'm not familiar with that. Are there any features that the PlayStation 5 took out that I would like to see them bring back? Features. I don't think so. I don't think they. Like I'm trying to think what the PlayStation 4 had that the PlayStation 5 didn't do. If anything, PlayStation 5 was an improvement. Like in every way. I mean, I would say my only issue I had with the PlayStation 4 was that it just wasn't backwards compatible. But PlayStation 5 is backwards compatible. I can pop in my PlayStation 4 games and play them, and in some games it actually updates them and like improves their performance. So no, I can't think of any features like even the controller. The controller is definitely an upgrade over what we got on the like. It's an upgrade of the DualSense is definitely an upgrade from what we got from PlayStation 4. So no, I would definitely say that in just about every single department, the PlayStation 5 is a better console, both software and hardware wise. Absolutely. So I don't think they took things. I think the only thing I wish they would. No, even they even kept that the same. So yeah, I don't think they. It's just a better console. Do I think that Persona 5 XCOM crossover will be successful? Hopefully it is, but it's not something I plan on playing. I don't need to. Do you think that Carnage is going to be in PlayStation Spider-Man 3? Possible, but heck, you have a large collection of villains that they could add in a Spider-Man 3 game when it comes out. If you don't want to go with Carnage, there's plenty that they could go with. You saw Mission Impossible 7, and I'm excited for Part 2. Yeah, I'll see when it comes out next year, if it does come out next year. However, I do think it's unfortunate that apparently it looks like Mission Impossible 7 Part 1 is going to lose money. I think it's just unfortunate. I think they just released it at a bad time. I think it was a good movie. I just think it released at the worst possible time. And so if it ends up losing money, it's just like, you need to take that into account. It's like, if your movie is expensive, you need to release it at a time where it won't have it won't have a lot of competition. So it's just unfortunate. What period of history do I watch documentaries on? Oh God. I'll watch anything involving World War II. I'll watch anything that deals with Sparta. I'll watch anything that deals with the Roman Empire. I'll deal with anything that deals with any kind of battle scenes. I'll say this. Some of my favorite documentaries are things like, you guys probably never heard of this. There was a six-part series called BC Battles. I thought was great. There was a series called Shootout that went over like historic shootouts. They focused a lot of it in like modern shoots that stuff that happened in the war in Iraq and some in Vietnam and some in World War II. I'll watch anything involving the Civil War. Just anything war-wise. Like, I don't know. That's one thing I absolutely inherited from my dad. My dad served in the military and survived 2 tours in Vietnam. I'm very fascinated with war. And my favorite war to go over is World War II. Now, here's something that you guys may not know this, and I think it's kind of like a weird sense of destiny. But I find it absolutely amazing that my birthday and my brother's birthday are on the anniversaries of World War II's beginning and World War II's ending. My brother's birthday is September 1st. My birthday is September 2nd. World War II started September 1st, 1939, and it ended September 2nd, 1945. I just think that's incredible. And our birthdays perfectly mirror the entire period of World War II. I don't know how you could have come up with that, but I just love that. In the comics, the Life Foundation was a Russian splinter group that created 5 symbiotes. Okay, all right, yeah, okay, I skipped a few, so I apologize. My pick would be like Life of Napoleon, World War II, Tuskegee Airmen, Battle of Midway, yeah, stuff like that. Like, I've watched plenty of times. There's a series called Battles BC, like not Battles BC, like Battle 360 that went over the entire period of World War II for the the carrier USS Enterprise. There was another one called Patton 360 that went over like Patton's entire progression through the World War II. There was another one called Dogfights that went over like different periods and specific battles that happened spanning across Operation Desert Storm, World War II, World War I, Vietnam, the Korean War. went over a lot of really cool things. I mean, graphics wise, it does look a bit outdated. There was another series called Decisive Battles that was like a 16-part series that went over like key battles that happened. Um, yeah, stuff like that. I'm very fascinated in. I'm rewatching again. Like one of my favorite. This is Wars documentary series called Line of Fire. Of just incredible, and they don't play. And this stuff and all this stuff is like almost 20 years old, and like it's better than most documentaries that I see now. Like it is incredibly rare that the History Channel releases a documentary that I'm actually interested in. I think that the most recent one I saw was like a 10-part series talking about the Roman Colosseum and like its construction and things that they did and certain emperors and how they built the whole thing. Like I think that's like the last like documentary that they released that I was really really interested in. I would definitely see them bring back custom background themes. Yes, yes. But dude, that one thing I miss is the being able to create your own backgrounds from PlayStation 3. That is a good thing. I'll take that back. That is one thing I wish they would have. We need to have dynamic backgrounds back. Like that was really cool in PlayStation 4, but like being able to create your own in PlayStation 3 was even cooler. Like I could create my own themes. Like that entire setup, I really enjoyed that. Like I miss that. Do a tier list for Metal Gear Solid 3 guns. That might be a bit hard since I haven't played that game in a really long time. So that might be a bit hard. Well, how much time we have? Feels like okay, we still got plenty of time. Okay, in comics, the Life Foundation. Okay, so it does it is something from Marvel. Okay, I'm just not familiar with the Life Foundation. What is the true reason I hate Final Fantasy VII Remake? In depth, if you've always mentioned that, I just hate the story. I hate the story. I hate the changes they did with the character. I don't like it. It comes down to story. I mean, if you want me to get right down to it, I just hate the story. I just hate what they did. And it's just like, they didn't have to do that. Like honestly, like, Dead Space 1 did a fantastic job at just telling the story and then expanding on it. But, like, they took that remake in a different direction that was, like, not needed. And I hate how they're milking this franchise and they're going to split it out over, like, multiple games because we're stupid and we'll buy the product. It's like, once I saw what they were doing, I was like, I'm not interested. It's like, that is ridiculous. I mean, imagine if, like, they took like a small section and expanded it and added so much bullshit. Like the characters are unrecognizable. Like these characters don't even act like they're supposed to. It was weird. I was like, what the hell have they done to this cast? Like Cloud isn't even acting like Cloud. Tifa doesn't act like Tifa. Aerith doesn't act like Aerith. Barrett doesn't act like Barrett. Like who the hell are these people? And the voice acting was awful. I was like, what the hell have they done? It's like this is just a cash grab because we as Final Fantasy fans are stupid fucking idiots. And it's like I'm not involved in this. It's like if people like it, that's fine, but I'm not getting involved. I'm not interested. It's like, hey, I have the real Final Fantasy VII. I'm sticking with it. That's Final Fantasy VII to me. Whatever the hell this is some weird experiment, but it's not Final Fantasy VII at all, and it pisses me off. Far Cry 3 is my favorite video game of all time. Okay, that's cool. I played it for a little bit and I wasn't a fan of it, but heck, if you loved it, that's great. Thoughts on Hugh Jackman reprising his role as Wolverine? I mean, okay, but I feel like Hugh Jackman is just doing this for a paycheck. I that's what I feel like because I mean. I read an article like maybe a few weeks ago that the director of Logan, who just did a film, I don't know what he did, but he was upset that Hugh Jackman was coming back as Wolverine because they worked so hard on Logan. And I understand that because I really think that Logan was like the best ending for his character. So to kind of see him come back is just like you're kind of ruining it. Like that's kind of what made Logan so special is because it was the last time we were going to see Hugh Jackman play that character, and he had played that character for so many years. Like, I think like the first X-Men film came out in 2001, so Hugh Jackman had been playing that character for almost 20 years. So to see his character have like a proper ending, and it seemed like it was a proper ending to the X-Men storyline, and then out of nowhere he's just like, oh, I'm just gonna do Deadpool 3, and from what I've heard, it's gonna sound goofy. Like I'm on the fence if I want to even see that film. Like I've heard like so many things. Like it's weird. Like maybe I'll give it a chance, but it's just like I understand why people would be a little bit upset because it was just Logan was like so good. It was such a great stand up. So to see him come back, it really just feels like Hugh Jackman hasn't really done anything after Logan too much, and he's just looking for a paycheck. That's what it feels like to me. The virus, she ages slow. I'm amazed you're still bringing up Dead Island after 30 minutes. I'm really amazed. Like I understand that the virus slows down her aging. I understand that, but that's no excuse for copying and pasting her look, Zach. That is my fucking problem. I don't mind if they keep her looking young, but they literally copied and pasted her look from the game. That's all I asked for was a different look. If you wanted to keep her looking young, okay, that's fine. But give her a different fucking look. Literally, they didn't even change her clothes. Dude, she is wearing the exact same fucking outfit from 1998. There is no excuse for that. And I'm pissed off that I'm the only one who's calling out this bullshit. Like, just give her a different outfit. That's all I'm asking for. That's bare minimum. Give her a different outfit. Give her a different look. They didn't do that. It's like they literally took. It's as if Jill walked through a time portal from Resident Evil 3 all the way to this movie, as if no time had passed. That is my issue and frustration with that. Seriously. What is the problem with Frozen? I just think it's overrated. What if Ubisoft made an Assassin's Creed game set in World War II and the Roman Empire? I think they did that already. Kind of. No, No, I don't really think you could do an Assassin's Creed game in World War II. I mean, I just think, yeah, I don't think you could. That feels almost too modern. Because then combat would be around shooting instead of like it would feel you would have to make it something like Splinter Cell, which is weird. So no, I don't think Assassin's Creed could set place in those time periods. And Sean, they already did one in kind of the Roman Empire. You have to remember, Origins took place almost when the formation of the Roman Empire. You have to remember, Caesar was like one of the main villains in that game, and so yeah, I mean, if you were gonna make a story that took place at that time period, it would take place around the same period as Origins, so you probably would stick with the same characters almost from Origins. So yeah, I would say I'm not sure that's necessary. I think we're close enough. Have I ever played Quake? No, I have not. I have not played Quake. What is my favorite Star Wars opening scene? My favorite was, yeah, mine too. Yeah, but that was my favorite opening of any Star Wars film was the Battle of Coruscant in Episode 3. Incredible opening, loved it. Vengeance, you don't really trust remakes now. We live in a world of remakes and remasters and sequels. People just run out of good ideas. I mean, that's what's sad. It's like we have all these brilliant people, and all they can think about is like doing a sequel to something, remaking something, reimagining something, instead of just coming up with new things. That is unfortunate. That just shows how little creativity we have these days. Who is my favorite villain of all time? In what form? Like video games or movies? You gotta be specific. Did I watch the new Team MT? Absolutely not. I did not. I have no interest in modern Team MT. I think the last thing I watched were like the Michael Bay ones, and once I saw that, I was like, yeah, I don't need to watch Team NT anymore ever again. Like, I wasn't even the biggest I wasn't even the biggest Teenage Ninja Turtles fan. Like my favorite film is the first one and the second one. They came out in the late 80s or early 90s. Like those are the two films I love the most. That third one was garbage and should never have been made. Do a review of Metal Gear Solid 4 and 3 and Rising. I know I've already done a review of Rising. I've already Rashawn, I would see, I may have even done one for 4. I think you need to go in my reviews playlist and you need to go all the way back. You need to go all the way back. I know I reviewed that. I reviewed that when that first came out. Like I think that's something I reviewed like in my first year of YouTube. But I know 100% I've reviewed that. 100% I know I have. I even streamed that, like my playthrough of that on YouTube. I know that. Do I think I will check out Ahsoka? Probably not. I'm done with Disney Star Wars. I'm not interested. I'm not interested. Do I feel that John Cena was hated during his run in WWE? That's hard. I mean, was he hated? I understand why, but he's not really hated now. Now that he's like basically retired. Like I'm surprised he doesn't retire already. Like he just like I just don't like what they're doing with John Cena now. Like they're just bringing him back like and they don't really have anything for him to do. I thought his match at WrestleMania with Austin Theory was stupid because I knew he had to lose, and they didn't even do anything with Austin Theory. Like this was supposed to elevate Austin Theory, and it did nothing with it. Like he just lost the U.S. title to Rey Mysterio, and they did nothing with that. Like Austin Theory is not the next big thing, and I was really kind of disturbed that people say like, oh, he reminds me of like a young John Cena. Like no, he does not. If anything, he reminds me of like a diet version of the Miz. Like I see more Miz than John Cena. I don't like at least back then when John Cena was kind of a heel, he could back it up. Like Austin Theory is a schemer, like the Miz was. So I don't understand where that ever came from. So like if they're just gonna have Cena come back just to lose, like I wouldn't do it anymore. Like if you're not going to give him his 17th world title reign, I wouldn't even do it. Like, if I was Cena, I wouldn't even do it anymore. Like, there's no need. Both. That's tough. I would say, movie-wise, the T-1000. Game-wise, probably Klefka from Final Fantasy VI, because he actually achieves his goals. Yes. Plus, he's like the bastard child. If like Carnage and the Joker had a child and he was given the powers of a god, and yeah, that's like the one thing that Klefka does that no Final Fantasy VII villain does. He actually wins at the end. Like you have to beat him after he's already destroyed the world and killed billions of people. So like you're pretty much fighting to save what little of humanity is left. And like no villain has ever succeeded in doing that. Like typically villains, you try to beat them before they can succeed. Klefka's the only one that you take him out after he's already done what he wanted to do. And that makes him special. And I don't think any other villain I can think of was able to do that. The new Team MT is enjoyable, and I'm sure you will like it. Unlikely. Very unlikely. From what I saw, I would not like this. Favorite music. Bomb, what do you mean favorite music? Like, explain. Like, type of music, artist, song. You gotta be specific for me. Like, favorite music is very wide. That's a big place to go. What are my thoughts on Jill being mind-controlled back in Resident Evil 5? Some thoughts. It was dumb, and excuse to turn Jill's blonde made her more marketable and put her in leather catsuit. I didn't think it was dumb. I didn't know Jill was going to come back. I really didn't. I didn't know what they were going to do with Jill. And to make her blonde was marketable, it's like, no, I didn't. They gave her a different look. They gave her 2 looks in Resident Evil 5. I thought it was fine. It was like the idea of her being controlled was something I was okay with. I mean, she tackled Wesker out of the window, and Wesker kept her because he understood that Jill had the virus still in her body, and he could experiment on her. Made sense to me. I thought it was fine what they did with Jill. There were some people who didn't like the idea that it was Chris and Sheva who took out Wesker, instead of having it being Chris and Jill. And I was just like, so in a sense, that always kind of puts Sheva in a big spot. It's like, oh, that should have been Jill. Like, I didn't need that. I like what they did with Jill. I liked it. I found it. No problems for me. Who do I think is better, Bret Hart or Shawn Michaels? I gotta be honest, I'm a bigger Shawn Michaels fan than Bret Hart. Bret Hart was definitely before my time. I didn't start watching wrestling until maybe 2005. So I didn't really get the chance to see Bret Hart wrestle when he was active. And from what I heard, his time in WCW was a complete waste of time. Whenever John Cena returns now, it's so obvious he's going to lose because he only wrestles once a year. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I would just stop. Just don't do it anymore. I think Edge just kind of like possibly retired. If I was gonna use Cena one last time, like here's what I would do. If I was gonna use Cena one last time, I would put him in a triple threat match at WrestleMania, and I would put him in a triple threat match with Randy Orton and Edge, and I would have all three of them retire. Like, we haven't seen Randy in like over a year. Edge just kind of had like a pot. He said it was his last match in Toronto. I don't think he said that would be his last match in general. Now, I'm aware that that's like the last match he's scheduled for, and he had it in Toronto, which celebrated his 25 years, and I think that's good. But I think if you had a triple threat match with Cena, Edge, and Randy, I think that would be a great way to end all three of their careers. Like, their absolute last match. I mean, just think about it. If you had all three of them in the ring together, that's over 40 world titles in one ring. I think that would be incredible. I think that would be a great way to end all three of their careers. And it didn't matter who won. It really didn't. You go in any direction. But I would have that be their last match together. Do you think Love Bowser, he is my favorite fictional character of all time? No, he's not mine, but if you like Bowser, that's okay. Do you think we will ever see Rock and Roman Reigns? I don't know. No, there's no, what's the point? Rock is not interested in doing it anymore. He's like, dude, he's got too many things to worry about, and I don't really give a damn about Roman Reigns right now. I really don't. Really, Roman Reigns is like a weak champion in my opinion. He really is. It just shows how little WWE has. They have no idea what to do with Roman. Like, what are we gonna do? Think about this. Like, people like to say, "Oh my God, it's so amazing that he's been champion for like 1,000 days." You do guys realize that he's had less than 10 title matches in that entire time period? Like, yeah, it's easy to have a title reign when you're not wrestling. Like, we're like at this rate, we're not even like the next time he's gonna even possibly risk a championship match is maybe Royal Rumble. Like, I think that Seth is gonna keep the title until Survivor Series, just so you can have a Seth versus Roman Reigns matchup. And Seth is probably gonna lose. I don't think Seth is gonna lose the title anytime till perhaps maybe Royal Rumble. I think that's when he'll lose it. Maybe, I'm not sure how and in what circumstances, but I think he'll hold the title till then. But the next time you'll see Roman like active in any sense, maybe Survivor Series, and then the next time you put the title up is Royal Rumble, and then they might have him lose it. But I'm like, how do you do that? Like, are they gonna have Cody Rhodes win the Royal Rumble again? And it's just like, oh, he's gonna have like a match with like Solo Sikoa at Royal Rumble, so he's gonna lose like the last member of the Bloodline, and then it's just gonna be him and Paul Heyman, and so he's gonna go into a rematch with Cody again. But he's not going to have anyone to back him up. Because, really, that is the only way Roman Reigns has gotten out of any of these title matches. Is someone always interferes. Every single title match that he has had over the past 2 years, someone interferes. Either it was Solo Sikoa who got interfered, or it was the Usos that interfered. It got annoying. Once the ref got knocked out, you knew what was going to happen. And it just, that's why I stopped caring. It's just say what you will about Cena's reign, at least he actually was performing at every pay-per-view. Roman Reigns isn't doing that. Seriously. Sorry about that. Favorite Mario power? It's just getting big. Do I think Return of the Jedi was a great ending for Star Wars? Yeah, I thought it was great. Yeah, for the original trilogy, yeah, I thought Return of the Jedi was a good ending. Top of music and favorite band. I guess rock. I'd say, just rock. Speaking of John Cena, have I ever heard of John Siegel prank call? Yes, I have, and I've seen it plenty of times. Out of any Resident Evil character, which one do I think is the best able to keep up with some superheroes, not against them, but alongside them, with some BOWs? None, because they all use gun. Well, I mean, I guess maybe you've put them on site like next to the Punisher, maybe. That's about it. You can't really put Resident Evil characters in the Marvel universe. They're outclassed. Like I saw this video, maybe like a few weeks ago, that like pit Leon in Resident Evil 4, and they put him up against a bunch of necromorphs, and like he lost every single fight against the necromorphs, except maybe like a basic necromorph. Like every other necromorph, Leon would lose to automatically because he's just like equipment wise, like bullets don't work on necromorphs. Like that's a fact. They don't work. So like Leon would have like no chance to get like a necromorph outbreak. Like you don't see Roman Reigns losing until next year's WrestleMania, probably because I'm like, you're gonna like, dude, like they have no one left for him to fight anymore. Like he's gone through everybody, and I'm like, now it's like I don't even care anymore. And I think it's stupid. Like he has like 3 belts. Like, what the hell is that? Have I listened to Tyler Childers? If you haven't, I recommend the song Feather Indians. It's a masterpiece of a song to me. Okay. Right, Rocket. What lightsaber color would I choose? Purple. Easy. I already have one of those. And we have a few more stream ads. What military branch would I join? Air Force. I tried going to the Air Force once. If Christopher Nolan made a Superman, no. I'd say Man of Steel was the closest we got. Like, Nolan was involved in that film, so I think that's the closest you'll get. And he's done with superhero films, and I don't blame him. He doesn't need to go back. I don't want to see him do another superhero film. He's good. Can you see Edge possibly going to AEW? No, not at his age. I mean, it's okay what Sting is doing, but even that's painful to watch sometimes. like you don't have to be wrestling at that age, dude. Like, it's okay. So they wouldn't be able to keep up with them. Superheroes would tear them. Yeah, probably. Yeah, they wouldn't do too well. Like that's a completely different era. That would be like throwing Resident Evil characters into Devil May Cry. Like what do you think they're gonna do? Like even Wesker would be like, I don't know what to do. Like what the hell is Wesker gonna do against someone like Virgil? Nothing. Have I watched Robert Rodriguez's Mexico trilogy? I've heard of that, but I've not seen all of them. I've not seen the first one. I've seen Desperado, and I believe I saw Once Upon a Time in Mexico once, and I didn't really care much for it. But I know I've seen Desperado a number of times. That's the only one that I know pretty well. But yeah, I didn't know that was a sequel until like many years later, and I never saw it. So yeah. Which superhero or supervillain would I be? I would be either Professor Xavier or Magneto. Those would be my two. Yeah, either one of them two. I'm a bigger X-Men fan than standard Marvel. Yeah. How was Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire butchered to hell? Dude, have you read the book? Holy hell, did they butcher the shit out of that book? It was weird. Dude, I don't have like the stream's about to end, but like I don't have time to go in depth with it. But dude, anyone who's read the book, there was so much that they changed. There was so much that they took out. It's ridiculous. I mean, the only big thing that they took out of, I'd say, like the Half Blood Prince was that they had a Battle of Hogwarts at the end of the book that they didn't do in the films, and I understood why they took that out. It was because it would be almost too similar to the Battle of Hogwarts that they had in Deathly Hallows. So I understand why they took that out. But there was a Battle of Hogwarts at the end of Half Blood Prince, but they took it out. But dude, they took out so many things in Goblet of Fire, and like the tasks were like very, very different. Like they didn't even it's weird. Like they took out so much development for a lot of characters and showed like how important they were. Like the whole labyrinth area was completely different in the book. It was way more expanded. So and they just took a lot of things out. And like Dumbledore was weird. Like I'm sure you remember the whole infamous like screaming Harry Potter scene. Like that is not at all how that happened in the books. Like why did they do that? It was weird. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna ask these last few questions, and then we gotta stop because I gotta upload my Mortal Kombat tier list video. But who would win in a fight between Han Solo, Indiana Jones, or Rick from Blade Runner? I don't know. That's weird. One has a blaster, one has a whip, and one chases cyborgs. I'm not sure. Do I think that the garbage man in Toy Story 3 was Sid? I think that is Sid. 100%. I do think that is Sid. And what Hogwarts house do I think you would be in? I'm a Ravenclaw. Dude, do you know how much Ravenclaw merchandise I have? Like, dude, like me and my friend John, like, dude, we went to like Harry Potter Land, both dressed up as Ravenclaws. Like, dude, like my wand is like specifically for like a Ravenclaw style like person. Like I bought I have like 2 Ravenclaw jerseys, like a Ravenclaw like cap. Like I have so much Ravenclaw stuff. I think my brother's a Ravenclaw. I believe his wife is a Slytherin or a Gryffindor. I think she might be a Slytherin. Yeah. Then I'm surrounded by Ravenclaws. But yeah, that'll be it for today. So, this was a very energetic episode of People's Questions. I want to thank everybody who sent your questions. Remember, if you guys have any more ideas for video ideas, please let me know in any video or send them to me on Twitter or Twitch or just any way you can, and I will try to film them today. I think I have like one more video that I'm going to film and see if I can get it uploaded. If not, I'll try to get it uploaded tomorrow. But yeah, in about like 10 or 15 minutes, I will be uploading a Mortal Kombat movie tier list video. So again, I want to thank you guys for joining me for this live stream. We will be sure to do this next Wednesday before I leave for my trip to visit my brother. And like always, thank you guys for watching. You're awesome, and I will see you all next time.